Welcome back, boys. Today we are going to start next chapter, that is current electricity, because we have done till electric potential and capacitance. In current electricity, there are various articles like electric current, cells, finding out the net resistance in a given circuit, and current in different branches. Along with that, there are two main articles, and they are Kirchhoff's law and its application in meter bridge. Then the last one is the potentiometer. So we will do sequentially, and first we will take electric current. Electric current is denoted by I, whether it is small I or capital I, and it is defined as rate of flow of charge, that is charge upon time. Now unit of charge is coulomb and unit of charge is second. So SI unit of current is coulomb per second or ampere, and 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. So this is about the unit of electric current. And definition of electric current, it is defined as the rate of flow of charge per unit time. Rate of flow of charge per unit time, or it is a ratio of charge flowing through the conductor to the time taken in flow through a given cross section. So it is a ratio of charge flowing through the conductor to the time taken in flow of that charge through the given cross section. Now definition of 1 ampere. Definition of 1 ampere, that is 1 ampere current is defined as when 1 coulomb charge flows through the conductor in 1 second. When 1 coulomb of charge flows through the conductor in 1 second, it is called that 1 ampere current is flowing through the conductor. Now next, dimension of electric current is A, because it is a fundamental quantity. So dimension of electric current is A, and it is a fundamental quantity. Now let us discuss whether the electric current is scalar quantity or vector quantity. Scalar quantities are those which has only magnitude, and vector quantities are those which has magnitude as well as the sense of direction. Current is defined as a scalar quantity because it has magnitude and it has direction, but the direction of the current is according to the direction of conductor. Direction of current is according to the direction of conductor, and it does not follow the vector law of addition. That's why electric current is defined as a scalar quantity, and it does not follow the vector law of addition. It follows algebraic law of addition. Algebraic law of addition means, for example, there are three branches. One current I1, this current I2, and this current I3. This is junction. Now here the currents are represented by their direction, and those directions are according to the directions of connecting wires or conductors. So here the current is defined as, that is I3 is equal to I1 plus I2. It is simply algebraic addition of the current. This is main reason why the current is considered as a scalar quantity. It is not considered as a vector quantity, because the electric current does not follow the vector law of addition. Now, the next thing about the current, when charges are very small and they flow in a conductor for a very small interval of time. So, we can write, if charge is small, I is equal to delta Q by delta T. I is equal to dq by dt. And this is del operator. It means that a change in charge to the change in time means through a given cross section how the charge is changing, and that is charge is flowing. Now this can be written in form of limiting case as I is equal to limit delta t tending to 0 delta q by delta t is equal to dq by dt. So electric can be represented in differential form as under, that is I is equal to dq by dt. Now this is important relation. If charge flowing through the conductor is function of time, means charge is varying according to the time, it is not flowing at constant rate. ये फार्मूला हम तब लगाते हैं जब चार्ज चेंज हो रहा है, इट इज फंक्शन ऑफ टाइम, टाइम के साथ कम या ज़्यादा हो रहा है, देन वी यूज दिस फार्मूला. वी विल टेक वन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ दिस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, if function of charge is given as 4t square plus 2t plus 10. 4t square plus 2t plus 10 means charge is varying according to this relation, and t represents time and q represents charge in coulombs. Now we can differentiate this function with respect to time. So I is equal to dq by dt. That is differentiation of this function, that is d by dt of 4t square plus 2t plus 10, that is, it is 8t plus 2 is equal to I. Now if you want to find out current, if charge is time dependent function and current is also a time dependent function, then this current will vary according to variation in time. For example, if you want to find out current I at t is equal to 2 seconds, then what happens? I is equal to 8 into 2 plus 2, that is I is equal to 18 ampere is the current. So this is utility of this relation, that is I is equal to dq by dt. If charge is given as a function of time, then we can find out the expression for the current as under, that is by differentiating the charge function with respect to time. Because current is equal to dq by dt, we know that this charge function will be the function of time. Now in order to make this is a time and this quantity is charge. So here for the dimensional homogeneity, there should be constants which must be having the unit such that if they multiply with time, then they will produce the unit of charge. ये जो constants हैं, इन constants की unit ऐसी होगी कि जिससे ये लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में चार्ज है, राइट हैंड साइड में सारे टर्म्स इंडिविजुअली चार्ज का डायमेंशन रखे. Means the value of constants will have unit. According to that, the individual terms on the right hand side will give the unit of charge. Now, this was all about, that is current, its definition, its formula, its unit and its dimension. Now another unit of another unit of electric current is also written, and we will write that unit. Now, according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR and I is equal to V upon R. So, we can write this as volt per ohm. So, one of the units of current is also volt per ohm, or we can say 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second is equal to 1 volt per ohm. So, all these three are equivalent because volt is SI unit of potential difference and ohm is SI unit of resistance. So, this was all about current. Now, come to our next topic, that is current density. Current density denoted by J. Now, current density is defined as the ratio of current flowing through the conductor per unit area of the conductor. That is, J is equal to I by A. J is equal to I by A, where I is current flowing through the conductor and A is cross-sectional area of that conductor through which we are finding the current density J. So, its SI unit is ampere per meter square because SI unit of current is ampere and SI unit of area is, this is area, area, current per unit area, and A upon that is A m minus 2 is SI unit of current density J. Now, its dimension is written as for electric current ampere and for length m L, that is minus 2, A L minus 2 is dimension of current density J. A L minus 2 is dimension of current density J. Now, next we should analyze whether it is a scalar quantity or vector quantity. Current density J is a vector quantity. Current density J is a vector quantity and it can be defined as the dot product of the two quantities according to the direction of area vector through the given cross section. Current density J is a vector quantity. Current density J is a vector quantity since it is a function obtained at a particular point of the cross sectional area A. So, it is basically a point function that is on the given cross section. The direction of flow of current is constant and it is uniform through that given cross section. Okay. Now, as we know that area is a vector and area vector is the positive normal drawn on the given cross section of area. Now, if we consider a conductor carrying current I, let this is a conductor and we have taken this cross section whose area vector is along this line and direction of current is along this line and this angle is theta. This is direction of flow of current. अब ये क्रॉस सेक्शन ऐसे नहीं है जैसे ये क्रॉस सेक्शन हम ऐसे बनाते तो क्या होता, आई होता और एरिया वेक्टर भी इसी डायरेक्शन में होता. Now there are two things, cross section of area and area vector. Cross section of area is this one that is area which can be seen, and the area vector is vector pointing normal to that cross section. तो दोनों वर्ड से कंफ्यूज नहीं होइएगा. अब अगर इस एरिया का ऐसा कंपोनेंट हम निकालें जो इस करंट के परपेंडिकुलर हो, तो अगर हम ऐसे एक डॉटेड स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ करें तो ये क्रॉस सेक्शन क्या हो गया. नाउ लेट अस rub once again. I am deleting this figure. Once again we are drawing. It was slightly confusing. Now this is. Now if we want to obtain the component of area such that this is area. Now this is sphere. Now this dotted structure gives, that is A cos theta, area of cross section, perpendicular to the current, or here in this direction area vector is in the direction of current. A cos theta area किस डायरेक्शन में है? इस डायरेक्शन में. This is A cos theta, vector A cos theta. अब A cos theta वेक्टर तो इस डायरेक्शन में हुआ, लेकिन एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन क्या हुआ? परपेंडिकुलर हुआ. सो वी टेक दैट क्रॉस सेक्शन विच इज परपेंडिकुलर टू द डायरेक्शन ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ करंट. यानी करंट डेंसिटी J डिफाइन करने में हम करंट और एरिया ऑफ क्रॉस सेक्शन परपेंडिकुलर लेते हैं. नाउ दिस, बाय दिस कंसेप्ट वी कैन राइट दैट इज I is equal to J into A cos of theta, J into A cos theta, where A cos theta is component of the area of cross section which is perpendicular to the direction of flow of current. So this expression, you know that J is a vector, so we can write this expression as J dot A. So current can be defined as dot product of current density J and area vector A at that time. Okay. Now when the cross section we have taken is directly perpendicular to the direction of flow of current, this is area vector. So we can write that is J is equal to, sorry, I is equal to J A cos of 0, that is J A. So the factor which is affecting the current is the area of cross section, that is through which cross section we are finding the electric current. So this is all about current density J. It is a vector quantity and the direction of current density is along the direction of flow of current through the given cross section, that is perpendicular to the cross section, or we can say in the direction of electric current through that cross section. So the concept of electric current density as an area vector. Now the next thing which we are going to take is, that is Ohm's law. You have studied the statement of Ohm's law in class 10th. That is, if physical condition and temperature of the conductor remains constant, then the potential difference across the given conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. Or we can say the current or the current flowing through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across ends of the conductor. So we can write here, that is V proportional to I. Condition क्या है? Physical condition physical condition and temperature of conductor should remain constant. Should remain constant. It means that physical condition means that its length, its area of cross section, and temperature means you are carrying out the experiment at particular temperature, and that particular temperature is kept constant throughout the experiment. Now, reason behind this, both the factors, that is temperature and physical condition, affects the resistance of the conductor, which we will see here. That is, V is proportional to I, or we can write V is equal to IR, where R is constant at given temperature and for given physical conditions. Given temperature and for given physical conditions. And this constant is called resistance of the conductor. This constant is called resistance of the conductor. That is, it is the obstruction or hindrance, it is the obstruction or hindrance to the flow of current through a conductor. Means obstruction or hindrance offered by the conductor to the flow of current by the conductor. So, the characteristic of the resistance of a conductor arises due to the condition that when a potential difference is applied across the ends of the conductor, then mobile electrons of the conductor move with a definite drift velocity towards positive terminal of the conductor, because electrons feels force towards the positive terminal and positive charges experiences force towards negative terminal. Now, during motion of these electrons, these free electrons through the conductor, they collide with the other free electrons as well as the ion cores of the कंडक्टर, यानी जो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होते हैं उनसे भी कोलाइड करता है और जो मेटल आयन कोर बची है उससे भी कोलाइड करता है. ड्यूरिंग दैट कोलिजन it loses some energy and its direction continuously changes. For example, जैसे यहाँ से चला, यहाँ कोलाइड किया दूसरे से, यहाँ गया, यहाँ से कोलाइड किया इधर गया, but due to the force F towards positive terminal, it will continuously drift toward this potential. This is called drifting of electrons inside the conductors. So, these electrons drift with a definite velocity, and that velocity is called drift velocity. During these collisions, there is a loss of energy, and that energy is liberated in the form of heat energy through the conductor in the form of Joule's heat, which we have studied in class 10th. Now, second चीज, अब अलग अलग कंडक्टर्स का रेजिस्टेंस वेरी करता है, मीन्स अपोजिंग कैपेबिलिटी वेरी करती है. अपोजिंग कैपेबिलिटी वेरी करने का क्या मतलब है? मतलब ये कि अलग अलग टाइप के कंडक्टर की कंपोजिशंस अलग अलग होंगे, उनका लैटिस स्ट्रक्चर अलग होगा, उनका आयनिक स्ट्रक्चर अलग होगा, यानी जो बॉन्डिंग होगी उनकी, जो मेटल बॉन्डिंग होती है वो अलग स्ट्रक्चर की होगी. सो दे विल एक्सपीरियंस different types of forces. They will experience different types of forces while passing through the conductor. वो हर अलग अलग कंडक्टर्स में अलग अलग फोर्स एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे. दैट्स वाई रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ द डिफरेंट कंडक्टर्स आर डिफरेंट. सम आर क्लासिफाइड एज गुड कंडक्टर्स एंड सम आर क्लासिफाइड एज बैड कंडक्टर्स. On the basis of conductivity, the materials are classified into three types, that is conductors, semiconductors and insulators. So conductors, semiconductors and insulators can be classified by the value of the specific resistance of that material, which we will discuss later. But as far as here we are concerned, we should know the concept of offering of resistance by the conductors. Now, in Ohm's law, the next thing is that is variation of current and potential difference. Now, we know that V is equal to I into R. Now, if we draw the graph for the variation of potential difference V and current I here, then we get a straight line. We get a straight line means that it is directly, V is directly proportional to I. As we will increase value of potential difference, in the same manner the value of current will increase and the ratio of, that is R, is equal to V upon I will remain constant. यानी जैसे आप पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस बढ़ाएंगे और उसी हिसाब से करंट बढ़ती जाएगी, लेकिन वो दोनों में इंक्रीज ऐसा होगा कि ये रेशियो हमेशा कांस्टेंट रहे. अब अगर हम इस ग्राफ से, यानी जैसे करंट जीरो थी, पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस जीरो था तो करंट जीरो था. Now, if you want to find out the slope of this graph, if you want to find out the slope of this graph, then you can find like this. Let this angle is theta. Now, slope is equal to tan theta is equal to perpendicular upon base is equal to BC upon AB is equal to, BC क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है? What does this BC represents? अगर आप इस चीज को समझ जाएं तो आप किस ग्राफ की स्लोप क्या रिप्रेजेंट करेगी आप इजीली लिख सकते हैं. जैसे स्लोप हमेशा परपेंडिकुलर अपॉन बेस आएगी. आप ये देखिए कि परपेंडिकुलर जो है वो किस क्वांटिटी को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. तो ये जो परपेंडिकुलर है, सपोज दिस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस इज V2 एंड दिस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस इज V1, तो V2 माइनस V1 रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. V2 माइनस V1 क्या है? चेंज इन पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस. नीचे आए, बेस में देखा हमने, बेस इज AB. AB क्या रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है? करंट को. और सपोज दिस करंट इज I2 एंड दिस करंट इज I1, तो क्या हो, ये क्या रिप्रेजेंट करेगा? डेल्टा I इज इक्वल टू I2 माइनस I1. नाउ वी कैन राइट दिस इज डेल्टा V अपॉन डेल्टा I. और डेल्टा V अपॉन डेल्टा I क्या रिप्रेजेंट करेगा? इट रिप्रेजेंट्स R, that is resistance. Now, if potential difference is plotted on y-axis and current is plotted on x-axis, then slope of the graph will represent the resistance of the conductor. Slope of the graph will represent the resistance of the conductor. Now think, if the situations are reversed, if potential difference is plotted on this axis and current is plotted on this axis, what happens? Now, so we take a graph in which current is plotted on y-axis and potential difference is plotted on x-axis, दिस विल बी अगेन ए स्ट्रेट लाइन, क्योंकि जो बेसिक रिलेशन है V इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू I, मीन्स पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू द करंट. नाउ if you want to find out slope of this graph A, B and C, this angle is theta. Now this quantity is delta V and this quantity is delta I. किसी ग्राफ की स्लोप क्या रिप्रेजेंट करती है? एक इन्वर्सल मेथड है कि आप ऐसे ड्रॉ करिए, ये देखिए, ये परपेंडिकुलर हुआ, ये बेस हुआ, ठीक. Now tan theta is equal to perpendicular upon base is equal to BC upon AB is equal to this BC represents what? Delta I, and this AB represents what? Delta V. Now you can rearrange this function mathematically. We can write this function as delta V upon delta I, which is equal to 1 upon. तो इस कंडीशन में स्लोप क्या देगा? रेसिप्रोकल ऑफ द रेजिस्टेंस. इट विल गिव रेसिप्रोकल ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस. अब देखिए, सिर्फ एक्सिस चेंज करने से हमारी स्लोप का रिजल्टेंट फंक्शन बदल गया. पहले क्या दे रहा था? when potential difference was plotted on this axis and current was plotted on this axis, it gave the slope of the graph, gave the resistance of the conductor. Now if you have interchanged the axis, that is current is now plotted on y axis and potential difference is plotted on x axis, then slope of this curve gives the reciprocal of resistance. It is not resistance. तो ये जो यूनिट आएगी, अगर इसका हमने स्लोप निकाला और लिखा, तो ये जो यूनिट आएगी वो क्या आएगी? ओम -1, क्योंकि ऐसा इसकी यूनिट क्या होगी? इसकी यूनिट ओम होगी. ओम ऊपर ले जाएंगे तो क्या होगा? ओम -1. इट विल गिव द रेसिप्रोकल ऑफ द रेजिस्टेंस. अब क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है कि सर हम कहां तक पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस बढ़ा सकते हैं और कहां तक ये लाइन स्ट्रेट रहेगी? ये क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है. तो ये लाइन तब तक स्ट्रेट रहेगी जब तक कि रेजिस्टेंस इसका चेंज नहीं होगा. जैसे ही इसका रेजिस्टेंस बढ़ा, और रेजिस्टेंस चेंज कैसे होगा? टेम्परेचर से होगा. टेम्परेचर बढ़ाने से रेजिस्टेंस बढ़ता है, वो हम नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल में देखेंगे. जब बढ़ गया रेजिस्टेंस तो क्या हुआ? आपने पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस बढ़ाया लेकिन करंट उतनी नहीं बढ़ी. तो इस ग्राफ का सेप आगे वी शुड ड्रॉ नेक्स्ट ग्राफ. अगर हम इस ग्राफ को, यानी ये V है, ये I हमने प्लॉट किया, इधर यहां से स्ट्रेट लाइन चली, उसके बाद ग्राफ ऐसे होने लगा बेंड करके. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि हम पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस ज्यादा बढ़ा रहे हैं लेकिन करंट कम बढ़ रही है. इसका मतलब अब जो हुआ I इज इक्वल टू V अपॉन R. अगर V हमने बढ़ाया, ठीक है, और R की वैल्यू पे क्या फर्क पड़ा? R बढ़ रहा है, ठीक है, R बढ़ रहा है, तभी तो करंट कम बढ़ रही है. जब R बढ़ रहा है यानी रेजिस्टेंस बढ़ जा रहा है, तब करंट कम हो जा रहा है, कम बढ़ रही. और अगर ये स्ट्रेट लाइन पर आता है, यानी यहां तक जैसे, उसका तब तक क्या था कि दोनों बराबर बढ़ रहे थे, यानी से रेशियो दोनों का सेम हो रहा था. ये चेंज क्यों आया? ये चेंज रेजिस्टेंस के बढ़ने के वजह से आया कि रेजिस्टेंस इसका बढ़ गया. इस वजह से अब क्या हुआ? ये दूसरा कर्व फॉलो कर रहा. अगर कंटिन्यूअसली बढ़ता ही जा रहा तो क्या हुआ कि चेंज इन पीडी हम ज्यादा कर देंगे तब भी चेंज इन करंट कम ही रहेगा. इसका मतलब रेजिस्टेंस इसका इंक्रीज कर गया. सो दिस इज द बेसिक रीजन. और जो कंडक्टर्स, द कंडक्टर्स which follows Ohm's law are called ohmic conductors, and the conductors which do not follow Ohm's law are called non-ohmic conductors. We will discuss later, but in this module we will do till this point only, and for the next thing that is the variation or the variation of resistance on different parameters we will do, that is length, area of cross section, material of the conductor. Then we will see that the specific resistance, which is another constant which depends on the composition of the material, which do not depends on length and area of cross section, also plays an important role in defining the resistance of the conductor. So wait for the next module. This was the first module of current electricity. So we will be doing till then. Bye. Have a good day.